Hey guys, Tacoma Comics here, and I just remembered I got the lights on behind my head, so let me go switch those off. That's better. So I got a whole bunch of stuff I want to go over, and I haven't talked to you guys live in a while, and I wanted to just say hi to people out there, part of the community that keep me sane and keep me interested in what's going on. So let me just run down the show for you today. I don't have regular shows. And I just realized I haven't done pick of the week this week. It was a real slim week for new comics, but I'll get around to that maybe tomorrow morning. Though I'm super busy, maybe it'll be tomorrow night. We'll see. But I've got like so there's a visual of what I've got. So to run down the show, we've got Shazam, Shazam review. We've got to talk about the Star Wars trailer. I've got to talk about a new initiative I'm jumping on. I've got a whole bunch of bits and pieces of hauls to go over, and then I've got die comic covers. So I'm going to go over every single die comic as far as the covers go. And so if you're interested in those and learning a bit more about those, that's what I'm going to go over. Next week, next Sunday, the 21st, I will be joined live 2 p.m. my side of the country, west side. 2 p.m. I will be live with John's Comics with Kids, DC Comic Queen. Jay is my lord, my mind just went blank, and two other people who said that Bear Island Comics, and I think it's Darth Richards, or is it Jay Black? I can't remember. Also wanted to go live. We're going to do a deep dive into die. No pun intended there. I don't think that was a pun. Deep dive into die. We're really going to get deep into the books, into the whole first arc, and I will have some giveaways. So if you like giveaways, you like free comics, free copies of die, definitely join us for that. If you're interested in being on the show, I'm just going to come right out and say it. I don't want to have four middle-aged white guys with goatees or beards talking about die, a comic that has transgender character, gay characters, black characters, Asian characters, white characters. I'd love to get a mix up there. Hey, poor man. Yeah, poor man. I have Betty and Veronica 3. I just saw it in half price books today, and I was like 99% sure you had it, but just in case, let me know. I can go back and pick it up. I didn't buy it, but I wasn't sure if you had it. So anyway, Poor Man Comics. Not to put too fine of a point on it, but my shiny bald white head, I'd love to not to have a bunch of white guys and one white girl talking about die. I'd love to have a mixed group. So if anybody's out there that's interested, please let me know. I think it'd be a better conversation if we have a diverse group discussing it. So let's start off with the Star Wars trailer. I'm 47, which means I was 7 when the first movie came out, which means I was the perfect age for Star Wars. It's not called A New Hope. It's called Star Wars. To set an indelible mark upon me forever. And the first 3 movies did that. I grew up with them in the 70s and very early 80s. And the prequels nearly destroyed my life. I know for some people who are younger than me, the prequels were everything. And then since the prequels, I think we've had a mixed bag. I was a fan of Last Jedi. I was a fan of Force Awakens. I don't think they're greatest movies ever, but I was a fan. I was a big fan of Rogue One. I was a big fan of Solo. And other than the title, Rise of the Skywalker, I am a big fan so far of what I have seen of the trailer. It looks like Kylo Ren is attacking the Knights of Ren, which is pretty cool. Looks like Rey is doing some cool shit. Music got me. Lando's back. The whole thing just brought me joy. I have no idea if the movie will be good, great, bad, somewhere in between, but it brought me joy to watch. I was really happy with that. So I'm definitely looking forward to December 20th next year. This morning, my older son went and took one of those classes where they teach you how to be like a babysitter, give you a certificate so that parents feel a bit more comfortable hiring you. And so I had the day free. I took my younger son to see Shazam. Now, I don't know anything about Shazam. I don't know the old TV show from 30 years ago. I don't know the comic. I don't know much about the older Shazam comics, the newer Shazam comics. I'm Shazam clueless. I love this movie. This movie was so good because it had heart. It was a touching tale. At the basis of the movie was a family of orphans living in a group home, and it always brought it back to having heart and having feels and being about family and love and what it means to be a family. And that made it great because there was the goofiest superhero ever, and they played him goofy, and they didn't mind playing him goofy. And Shazam was goofy, had this red costume with gold lapels and a gold bolt here, and had a white cape and shiny boots, like looked like moon boots. I mean, looked dorky and acted dorky, and it worked. They made it work perfectly. I highly suggest you go see Shazam. I really loved it. Let's check the chat. There's a lot of you chatting. No, it's just one, but we'll check it anyway. I've only seen the original Star Wars trilogy once when I was younger. It was mad to me back then. So here's the thing. I'm going to get on my high horse. I don't have this argument with people a lot because too many people have too many opinions, and Star Wars Twitter is as bad as Twitter gets, and it's out there. But here's the deal. There will never be another Star Wars. And I don't mean there will never be another movie that great or that means that much to people, but Star Wars literally changed cinema. There was before Star Wars and after Star Wars. There was no concept of a blockbuster movie before Star Wars. It was the first blockbuster movie. Not like there weren't great movies before, but the term blockbuster was coined when the first one came out in May of '77. It changed the face of cinema. And they did it again with Empire and almost the same degree with Return of the Jedi. You can have great movies. You can have movies that have meaning to people. No movie can ever affect me the way those movies affected me when I was 7, 10, and 13. Right. So people arguing about whether the new movies are as good, I think are lost in the fact that they will never be as good. And not because they're not as good in terms of the movie. It's because you were a certain age at a certain time in your life. I mean, I came back from the movie. My dad was out cutting the hedge, and I recited the entire movie to him, just like sat there babbling away while he was up on the little step ladder cutting the hedge with the trimmer. It left such a mark. That mark can't be left anymore because our culture has changed. So I absolutely loved it. It was such a big part of my life. But I don't think that we live in the same sort of age where a movie can have that type of effect. Jojo, how you doing? So maybe this is like serendipity. I don't know. But the two of you were the two people I were thinking of for something that's coming up later in this show. So I'm glad you're both here. Don't go anywhere if you can stick around, because there's some good stuff coming up. I've got a crazy idea on how to get rid of some comics, and I was hoping that you guys could help me out. So I will definitely be addressing you two specifically in a moment. That's kind of weird that you two are here. Maybe that's serendipity or something. I don't know. My tea's cold. I'm going to have to switch to beer soon. All right. Let's talk about Die. As I was saying, next Sunday, 2 o'clock, April 21st, 2 o'clock West Coast time, 3 o'clock East Coast time, 5 o'clock East Coast time, somewhere in the middle if you're in the middle, but definitely before Game of Thrones. So you're not going to miss Game of Thrones. I'm hosting a deep dive into Die with John's Comics with Kids, DC Comic Queen, a few others. I've been hitting people on Instagram. I'm going to be advertising the show more. Going to be doing some, and Bear Island Comics will be there. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway during the show, at least one giveaway. So if anybody who's watching this in the rewind or anybody watching this now wants to join, please let me know. And I'll say it again. I want to get a diverse group. I don't want it to be like 4 white guys and 1 white girl, all with beards, except for DC Comic Queen. I don't think she has a beard, but it's up to her if she wants to, right? So let's take a look at the covers. This is cover A, the first thing that most of us ever saw. This one is drawn by or painted by Stephanie Hans, and this is Ash, who's known as the Dictator. Ash is treated, I think, as a boy when we first see them in 1991 playing the original game that Soul had at his house, or at least is ambiguously portrayed. Ash is definitely a female 25 years later. So there is some transgender characters going on there. So I thought that was really interesting. That's right out there. And that is number 1. Stephanie Hans loves her reds. If anybody was unaware, these 20 triangles represent the 20 triangles of a die, a 20-sided die, a D20. You can see the lines on this one. This is Angela. She's known as Neo. She's a cyberpunk. She kind of interfaces with the world's computer systems and kind of like an ultra hacker. And she's got a pet sort of android or something dog that hangs out with her and helps her kill people and do things. It's pretty cool. So those were the A and B covers to number one. Right here, this set was done by Mike Ruth, who is an artist I don't know. This is Soul. He's the Grandmaster. This was limited to 250 copies. This is the other cover he did. This one clearly is not a virgin variant because there's writing on it. This is Isabel, the Godbinder. She often has massive weapons in her hands. This time it looks like some sort of pickaxe. This was limited to 500. This one is one of the ones that I'm going to be giving away. This is a cover done by Stephanie Hans for number one. So I will be giving away one of these. This was also limited to 500. This is from the Comic Mint, and this is what is this? The Comic Mint. This is Chuck, who's known as the Fool. His power seems to be fucking things up by saying the wrong thing and doing the wrong thing. Hey, Kelvin. So portrayed pretty well here. He just likes to screw around with people. He's vulgar. He's crass. He's not very serious, but he is smart and he is good at what he does. There's another copy of that. And so shout out to the Comic Mint. I ordered one of these and then I ordered two of them. I got one and then I got another one. And I emailed them back. I said, hey, I ordered two. You guys only sent me one. And Chuck was in every 80s movie. That's a really good comment. That's why I want you on that show. That's really, really good. I want more views for people to bring these things in. So Comic Mint said right away, hey man, we're sorry. You're right. You ordered two. We only sent you one. They sent another one. I got it like 3 days later. So I have three of them. And I will definitely be, giving away one of these. We'll see how many copies of everything I get. I might do some other giveaways. This is another limited to 500. This was Emma Vicelli, who I don't know at all. I don't know if anybody is interested, if anybody has knowledge about Emma, Vieceli, the Vicelli or Vicelli. I don't know. But this is Chuck and the Elf Queen, who also is Maria, who is in sixth form, which is the same way saying sixth grade in England, when all of the rest of them, I think, were in fourth or fifth form. They were a little bit younger. She plays a role in issue 2, not episode 2. The only thing I don't have is there is a virgin variant of number one, which is on its way. I'm waiting for it. It should be here soon. So we'll see. Second printing of number one also has Ash. And the third printing of number one also has Ash. Kind of basically takes on the first cover. The fourth printing has Ash, but it is a different view. So this is actually a different one. The fifth printing looks like this, but in a different color. I don't have it yet because it's not out yet. And then there are virgin variants of the fourth and fifth printing as well, done by Jetpack Comics, that you can get. So just a little comment. I know I'm giving one away, but you can still grab these for $14.95. And I think that you're going to find this, this is a limited to 500 number one of die. You could sell a cover A first printing for $30. You can't get that for under $30 anymore, maybe $20 if you're lucky. Right here, you're looking at a limited to 500 variant to number one. And if you look on, sometimes store variants are listed as second printings, but if you look at the barcode, right, it's 6-1. So it's cover 6, but it still counts as a first printing. So I would go on eBay and look up the Comic Mint and order some of these for $14.95. Yeah, APMC, it's not in my hands yet. So we're not counting anything is a done deal, right? I want that comic in my hands because it's $180 plus, 15 shipping floating out there. RLM, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you for joining us. And that's what you saw I sold big. I sold like an issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a couple of variants. I sold my Rye Zero. I sold my Eternal Warrior 24 comics that I sold for a little bit more. I love the comics, but I wasn't in love with them. And so I said, hey, if I'm not going to take $180 out of the checking account because my wife will be upset, I need that money. I'm going to go sell some comics. So, I sold a little bit bigger on the last auction than I usually do because I wanted to turn it around. And I also that's where I got that Batgirl 23. It's coming up. All right, issue 2. Issue 2A. This is Isabel the Godminder again. Like I said, you will always see her with some sort of spirit animal usually. And in this case, it's a grizzly polar bear or polary grizzly bear or something. And here she's got more of a warhammer rather than that battle axe she had in the alternate cover that we just looked at. And then right here, this is 2B. This is Chuck the Fool again, right? His jacket says "Players Die." It looks like a sort of large leather jacket that foolish kids in the 80s movies wore. He's got brass knuckles and a vape pen. I mean, that is as overboard as you can get in terms of that sort of ridiculousness. That is Stephanie Hahn. Sorry, this one is by, I think it's Jana Schmermer, something like that. And I don't really know the artist too much. And again, I forgot to mention that's Jamie McKelvey doing the cover B for that one. The second and third printing for issue 2 are again the Elf Queen Maria, just in different colors. They seem to have really rushed these printings. I'm not blaming them at all. They really needed to get them out because the demand for dye was so high, which they did not expect. So, Poor Man Comic. The trade, if you don't want to get issue 4 and 5, I mean, I would get them if you can, but the trade is coming out in June, and there will be, I can't remember what company it is. There's some company doing like a limited cover for a trade that has a new character on that we haven't met. So there's 2 versions of the trade paperback coming out. Thank you, Jojo. I agree. So in issue 3, we have the Grief Knight again. And he's always got the sword. His power is he feeds off negative emotions. So you're like, hey, buddy, your wife's never going to see you again unless you get out of this world. And he kind of hulks out and becomes powerful. Probably my favorite cover to date is Jen Bartel's cover B to die number 3. And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure who this is. I'm not sure if this is supposed to, because, she does these cool things with colors and contrast, but I'm not exactly sure if this is Ash or if this is Neo or if this is I'm Isabel. I'm not sure. So I'm really excited. I agree. I got a couple prints from Bartel at ECCC, and I'm really excited for them. The second printing for issue 3. This is a character I couldn't find his name, but in issue 3 is when you think that's Ash because of yep, right there, right? Because it's Jen Bartel, the colors are different palettes, so it's not the blonde hair. Good call. That is Ash. You guys, I took notes for this. I'm not remembering this. I wrote this down before you all got here. So this character, like, they run issue 3 is where you realize exactly how meta it's going to be. They run into this land, and it's like the front in World War I, and it's also everybody's waiting for the elves to arrive. It's takeoff on The Hobbit or on Lord of the Rings, and it's sick and it's sad and it's crazy and it's twisted. I don't want to give too much away because, like I said, we're talking about it next week. But this is one of the soldiers that they run into. As far as I know, there's no name for this character. What my son would call an NPC, non-player character. And it's heart-wrenching, that part, and that's where you realize that something different is going on with Dai. Let's take a look at issue 4. Issue 4, cover A is I'm sorry, issue 4, cover A, that's Neo. Sorry, with the Godbinder, not the Godbinder, the Cyberpunk with her doggy there. Angela is her name. Angela is known as Neo, who is a cyberpunk. And I'm not sure if I think the dog had a name. I can't remember. That's Stephanie Hans. I don't know CJW. I don't know who the artist is that did this, but that's Matt the Grief Knight again. The second printing of issue 4 is just a color take on Angela. And then issue 5, again, Isabel has a new weapon that is destructive and dangerous and crazy. The Godbinder's at it again. And I don't see a bear in this one, but it is definitely Isabel. She's without her spirit animal today. But yeah, another sick weapon. And then, here's the spirit animal in probably my second favorite cover. This is David Mack's variant to issue 5. And again, this is Isabel Godbinder. And you see the grizzly bear as well. So, my friends, there are all the issues of Die in terms of the covers. If I made any mistakes, anybody watching this, please let me know. I'm certainly not an expert. I kind of figured this out by going through it and trying to get it right. But I love the series, as do many of you. And that's what we got for Die, man. It's just an awesome series. I'm missing. There's a Virgin variant for issue 1, 4th printing, issue 1, 5th printing, issue 2, 2nd, and issue 3, 2nd. What's up, buddy? After you take care of the dog. Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, there you go. There's the Die covers. All right, let's see what else is going on in the land of comic books. Been hitting half price a little bit. Oh, let's do this one first. From the auction strip, I finally pulled the trigger and got this from Brandon Stowinski. It's in beautiful condition. I think there's like a tiny bit of dirt. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it up there. I got it like inside a bag, inside a top loader. But it doesn't affect the way it looks at all. And I'm super excited to have this. I've wanted this one for so long. I jumped on this train right after it started, so I missed this one. Just gorgeous. Somewhere in here, I have the rest of them. So I hadn't looked at the pre-Middleton Batgirls, but I figured I would just show you now because some of the covers are cool. Some aren't that great, right? So here is issue 15. I don't know if anybody knows who this is. These are all the cover Bs. I don't know who this is. Is this Middleton this early, or is this somebody else? I'm not sure, and I didn't look it up yet. Issue 16. This one's kind of nice. Issue 17. They are Middleton. Okay, cool. Issue 19. So, he's kind of building to this. Like the cowl here looks very much like it does here. You can really see that like he's building his work and his talent there. This is kind of cool. Issue 21, I don't like as much as the others. I really wanted to get a second copy of the Moped. I was going to send it to Pope C because I sent him some books that didn't arrive in the best condition. I felt bad, but the Moped one is like the only one that's missing. So these are the rest of them. I'm probably going to put these in a lot because I have every single one of these already. I love some of them, right? But I don't need doubles of all of them. That's my only Moped. And I thought this one was okay. I think this one is better than I thought it was. And then now we are on Art Germ. And absolutely spectacular and totally different. It's just great. And that's Derek. Is that Derek Chu? DCW. And then I don't even know who this one is. Is that? I don't know. I've lost track and I haven't been keeping track, but they're all really, really cool. So I've got the whole run in doubles of quite a few. So you'll probably see those in an auction soon. Hitting half price books the other day. Got some more Usagi Yo Jim. I don't know if I'll ever finish getting all of. Yeah, that is true, Bear Island. But I love reading these. It's such great fun. It's amazing after 100. What's that? Good. She's supposed to. After 160 issues, that he's keeping it fresh. The stories are still fun and stuff. They had a bunch of Spawn. I'll probably be putting these into an auction because I'm not a big Spawn collector. I just like these. And I got 2 copies of this because this is a really cool cover. 3 and 8. This apparently is a more popular cover. This is Spawn Becomes Human or something. This is the black and white variant. I don't know anything about Spawn. Issue 1, and then I got issue 2 with a sticker on I got to get off at some point later. I had stopped collecting this because it just got really boring, but I hate having issue 1 through 22 of a run that goes up to 31. And Phil Noto still does some nice covers. So I'll finish reading these at some point. I don't know when. It was a good comic at first. It was a good, tight story. Thank you, RLM. You too, man. I appreciate you being here. But after a while, it got a little boring, a little pouring. I don't know if that's a good pun or not. Picked up a Nightwing Rebirth #1 for, what is it, $1.50? You know, so yeah, so half price books near me now just as half off cover. They don't do bags and stickers for most things. And it's kind of cool because all these DC Rebirths came out at $2.99 and they're coming out twice a month, but at $2.99, you know, it's $1.50 instead of $2. So pretty cool. I got a few Lumberjanes and ElfQuest. I literally just got these because I have a stack of comics like yay high for kids to read in my classroom, and that's what they're there for. So I pick up some 25-cent goodness. I found these first printings, Strangers in Paradise 2 and 3, which I thought was super cool. I'll get those stickers off later today. See what I can do. Let's see. We have a comment here. I actually emailed Middleton about his early work. He responded within 3 hours. He's awesome. Wow. That's sweet. That's really sweet. Lives in Europe, and that's why he's never at cons. Cool. That is really awesome. It's good to know that you got that much initiative to contact an artist. I knew this was heating up, so I went ahead and grabbed this. I can't even remember why, but I knew it was there, so I went and got it today. Yeah, Hans is awesome. She's in France. But here you go. They have to be invited usually to come here. Otherwise, it's really expensive for them. So when I took the survey after Emerald City Comic Con, I was like, they're like, who are the top 3 creators you want to see next year? I wrote Stephanie Hans, and Stephanie Hans because I'm a dick like that. Yeah. So something happened to this. I still want to get the variant with her on with the shield. There's a variant to this that's really cool. But something small happened in that, and it's been going up a little bit in price. I've never seen this one before, but I've got his Adi Granov Star Wars 40, where he does a Princess Leia, which is one of my favorite all-time covers. This one, except where I'm pinching it up here, and there's a little bit of a fold, it could use a press. I like this a lot, man. I dig this cover. I've never seen this before. This is a C2. Wow. This is a C2E2 and Emerald City Comic Con exclusive. I just found out by looking at the back. But I don't know if this must have been 2 years ago that this came out, 2015, 4 years ago. Wow. So I totally missed the boat on that one. I'm glad I got that now. That is a really nice cover. Could definitely use a press. I see some glinks, but no color breaking ticks. Yeah, I agree. They had Young Avengers 2. Picked that up for, what, $2 or something? I don't know. $1.50. Saga. I can't believe I got this. This is second print of issue 2. It's got spine ticks and some color rub on the back, but it's Hazel, and and it's Saga number 3, and it looks so cool, and I got it anyway. Maybe I'll cut it up and make a coffee table out of it or something. Young Avengers number 5, something happened to that. This was the one that I was psyched to get. Got another first appearance of the Super Sons right here. Superman issue 10. Got that for $1.50. And Italo Alves, hello from Brazil. How are you doing, sir? Glad to see you here. Please write down anything and everything you want about comics. We'll try to include you in the chat. I'm just going through some random stuff, but it is always nice to have a new follower. Along with that one, I was able to pick this up. Super Sons number 1. This is the first print, cover A. This is apparently the first team up of the Super Sons. This is where they first meet, first team up. I got to stop buying things in order just to sell them to auctions because I don't really want that, but it's there. I don't think I had these two, 37 and 38, unless I got them and forgot to write it down. But when I checked my phone, I was missing these two. I think I now have the entire run of Sweet Tooth. And I'll always pick up a variant cover to DC Universe Rebirth. And here is a variant cover to DC Universe Rebirth. All right. So that's that. I got a few more comics here that got to shuffle off some stickers. Get that. Actually, not these. No, not this one. Get 100 Bullets number 1 for 25 cents. And then 2 for a quarter. 3 is the only one that's actually got a sticker on it. 4 and 5. Got this little X-Force here. Got some revivals I didn't think I had. I was going quickly that day. I might actually have them. And a couple issue Fables that I think I need as well. Pope Grimy. Super Shark Humanoids. That's for you, bud. I didn't think I had this. I have this now. I've got another copy. I couldn't resist getting another Pit number 1. Don't ask me why. I keep doing that. And then another Pit number 1 and some Kaiju Max. So there's a theme here. There's a reason why I'm going through this, right, guys? I have some comics I don't necessarily want. Comics I like, but I already have, or comics that I keep buying for a quarter, buying for a dime, or buying for nickel, sell for a dime, as Proposition Joe says in The Wire. And I got to stop doing that. If I find a $20 comic for $1, that's great. But I keep buying more than I need and more than I want. So here's what I'm going to do. And APMC and JoJo, if you're still here, this is where you guys are going to come in. Hey, Prowler, I am sending out a large box, and the 2 large boxes, 1 to each of you. And the idea is give one, take one, need one, take one. I want these boxes of comics to act like the pennies that you get at a convenience store if you've got like $1.79 and you only have $1.75 on you, or you don't want to break a 20 or whatever. So the idea is I'm going to send out a bunch of decent comics, and they might be comics that you need for your collection, comics that you want to read, you never got around to reading, or that you've got a bad copy of and you want. And the rule, which I have no way of enforcing, is going to be take however many you want, put back that number, either take ones and read them or take ones and find comics you have. Because I'm betting you guys have comics you don't want or need. Don't put the absolute trash in there. Put something decent in there and then mail it to somebody else. There'll be a note inside explaining the game, activity, whatever. And the idea is to keep this thing circling around the community as long as we can. Just, take one, give one. So let me show you what I've got. I haven't actually split these up into boxes, but these are the comics I have that are too chintzy for auctions, but are decent, right? So I have here Witches 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. I have New Avengers number 1. Maybe somebody's really into that. I have Bendis' New Avengers number 1. Maybe somebody really wanted the Spider-Woman ass from New Avengers 4. Maybe somebody's a Maria Hill fan and is getting as many of these covers as they can. Maybe somebody's really down with the Illuminati. Maybe somebody wants whatever is important about this issue. I've got a little New Mutants here, right? A little Sankovic cover. Maybe somebody just loves Sankovic. Maybe somebody wants, what is this, 86? This is the cameo of Cable. I think he appears in 87. Maybe somebody just likes the throwback cover, right? Skyrim. I did not say Skyrim. Illuminati, Maria Hill, Spider-Woman. I said Spider-Woman. Maybe somebody is collecting X-Men and doesn't care about condition, right? Maybe somebody loves Han Solo's wife and wants the first appearance of Sana or the second appearance of Sana. Maybe somebody thinks this is one of the most underrated covers ever and wants it. And I already have 2, so why do I need 3? That's okay. I'd probably mishear everything you say, Italo. Maybe somebody is collecting the die-cut covers from the Death in the Family and needed this one. Maybe somebody likes to take the die-cut cover off and see what's below and wanted this one. Maybe somebody is collecting all the 25th anniversary covers and didn't get the G.I. Joe. Hey, that's awesome to hear, PMC. Maybe somebody loves Lemire's Moon Knight or Jordi Belair's color contrast or Greg Smallwood's art and just loves that writing that Lemire does. Maybe somebody wants the real first issue of Major X. Dude, look at this freaking character. All right. Yeah, I don't want to destroy Liefeld any more than we have to, but come on already. Maybe somebody likes the Cable Limited series from the 90s. Maybe somebody likes Eternal Empire. I know I do. It's actually a good read, but I already have a copy of #1. I don't know why I borrowed 2. Maybe somebody remembers Pitt from back in the day. Somebody remembers Darker Image from back in the day. I know I don't. These were after my day, first time around, and before my day, second time around. There are so many first issues of Major X. You are absolutely correct. Maybe somebody likes the fact that this was the Eisner Award winner for like best limited series 2 years ago, and they didn't read it yet, and it's awesome, right? Maybe somebody wants Suicide Risk that I bought because it was the wrong one. It didn't have the Stephanie Hans variant cover. Maybe somebody wants that Dark Horse. You know, maybe PMC will be like, I could use another copy of that because they added Hughes in there. Maybe somebody likes the first appearance of Old Lady Wolverine. Maybe you want to read Beauty. Maybe you want to read this. Maybe you want to read this. Maybe you heard that this is going to be a Netflix show. You want to keep it. There's no Amazing Fantasy 15, only 16. Maybe you're down with this. Maybe you bought week 6 and you're like, you know what? I don't care if it's a minor key. I'm not going to do anything with it. I might as well give it away to somebody. Same with week 9. Maybe you got 3 of these. Maybe you already have 2 of these signed and you feel like letting somebody else read Black Magic. Awesome thing. Maybe somebody's down with horror, JoJo, and wants to keep Outcast #1. Right? Maybe somebody's a Brian K. Vaughan fan or a Gail Simone fan. Maybe I have 3 copies of this, and why do I need 4? No, this is not an auction. The whole point is this is the stuff that I have at auctions. I try to stuff in a box, and it's $14 for shipping. And then, oh, you actually left. Maybe you don't know. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm just sending this box. I'm sending one to you. I'm sending one to JoJo because you've been some of my friends for the longest on here. What you do is the deal is need a comic, take a comic, leave a comic. You take as many comics as you want. You put back as many comics as you take. You send them to somebody else with the same note to do the same thing. It is take a penny, leave a penny, right? I should probably split these between the 2 boxes because nobody needs 2 of that ass. Maybe you're banking on A-Force #1. I have 4 copies of this. I love A-Force. I love G. Willow Wilson. I love Jorge Molina. I don't need 4 copies. Maybe you know Cinder is the big bad in War of the Realms. You're specking on this book to be the next $1,000 book. Keep it. I don't care. I need to make room. Shout out to Pope Grimy for that cover. He sent this to me. I'm not a big Harley fan. It's a crazy cover. I don't need it. It takes more room on the wall than that way. Right? So that's one box. That it'll also have some decent comics. Maybe somebody wants the first Nova. You know, it's got a little dirt right there. That's okay. Maybe somebody likes Venomized X-23. Right? Maybe somebody wants a little Old Guard. What? Am I throwing the first appearance of Old Guard in? That comic's heating up. There's going to be a movie. That's a $20. Dude, it cost me $1.50. I don't mind giving it away. I need to cut down and focus on what I do. Keep the love in the community going. You know, keep it going round and round. I can deal with losing $1.50 comic, even if it is worth $20. It's not worth 200. I don't mind. That's what I'm getting at right here. You know, you like Bloodshot. One box is going to have all my Bloodshots. Are 6 and 7 in here? No, I sold them. My apologies. Maybe you love the Exo Man of War and the shiny covers, Ninjak, Chirok. Maybe you're like, dude, I'm totally into Mortal Hulk. There you go. Maybe you want to read about Knight's Dominion. If you're not reading Kaiju Max, this is actually an allegory for prison industrial complex. It's actually really good. There's a number one. There's a number one. There's a number one. Oh my gosh. There's another one of those. There's one of those. There's one of those. I have an extra of that. 300. More of those. There's some Darklist the Rain. There's an extra copy of Origin. There's a Nova. There's some Mr. Miracle. There's some Youngblood. There's a comic called Goddess Mode by Zoe Quinn. There's a Vanguard and a Cyberforce Zero. So I'm going to try to split these up so each box is about equal goodness. There's a random Star-Lord and a Marvel Punisher, Wolverine Punisher. There's an Avengers versus X #1, Punisher Warzone, a What If Punisher. It's an extra Civil War 6. And, you know, I don't know if you guys ever watch, is it not Key Collector Comics? What's his name? Comic book collector. I forget his name. Guy does really great haul videos. And yesterday I was watching a haul video and he had this one. He's like, I've never seen this cover. I thought this cover is awesome. So, you know, you never know what somebody out there is going to like. So it could be this one. This is not like a major comic, but you know, the Key Chaser. Yeah. Nova, not Snova. Sorry, Nova. And then I got some Ex Machina. Maybe you're trying to finish this run. And then New Superman. So 2 piles of comics that'll definitely fit in a medium box. So I'm going to mail one out to you probably on Monday, APMC. And I'm going to mail one out to you, JoJo, because I know you guys are pretty good people. I trust you, obviously. And all you do is go through them. Right? You can put in the chat right now if there's anything particularly that you want. I'll make sure each of you get what you want. And all you got to do is just, when you get the box, take them. If there's something that you want, take it out. Take out 5, put back 5, reseal it, put another piece of paper with somebody else's address on, mail it off. It'll cost each of us $14 to mail off. And so, you know, that can be the only limited factor, but that's it. Yeah. Nova, is a superhero. There's been a whole bunch of them, Italo, who, basically, what does he do? He has powers from a helmet because he's part of a Nova Corps, which is this intergalactic corps of universal defenders. And there's been several series of comics since he first appeared in the 70s, I believe. Hold on one second. Nathaniel, did you or Nicholas feed Olivia? No. Well, what do you think the dog wants to do at 5 o'clock every day? She did poop, and now she wants to fill her belly. Yes. Thank you, buddy. I know you got friends over. You're playing D&D, but whatever you're doing.
No, I want to tell you something. Important lesson, girl. Don't.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, PMC, I just went through like my comics, and out of these, right, there are some that I could probably put like in a nice collection and sell. But at some point it got to the point where I was like, all right, I spent $14 at Half Price Books. I can probably auction these off for $18. I've found some keys, but what happens is I then buy a bunch of other stuff that like was just for me or just because it was cool. I didn't sell it and end up evening out. And so I'm just trying to limit myself and say, hey, look, if I can find something that is a 20, like that's Super Sons, right? That's a $15 comic. And I know people that want that comic, and I got that for $1.50. That's worth doing it, right? But I need to do more of that and less of the here's a bunch of $2 comics that are maybe worth $3 if you find the right person. Because then the auctions become a drag, and then I'm trying to get rid of these big boxes. So, and then I put other stuff exactly, right? And think about this, right? This is a pile that has to take up some room in my comic book room. And I have two piles like that right now, and I want to just get rid of them. So the best way to do it, I thought, was just to share them out. So yeah, let it ring forth from this place here and now, and that the great comic book take one, give one, need one, leave one is beginning on this day, April something at 5:42 in the evening. No, but seriously, let me know if there's anything that you guys want that I know just showed like 60 comics, and I'll make sure I put them in the boxes for you. And I would, Prowler, I don't want to think so big, but obviously, we've all got egos. I've got one. I think it would be great if it did go around and people did talk about it. But if it only ever goes to 3 people and 3 people get comics they want, that's great too. So yeah, obviously, now that you know how to go live, JoJo, it'd be great if people, like, when they got the box, they opened it and showed people what they're taking and showed people what they're putting in. But do what you want with it. I have no control over it once I go to the post office Monday and it leaves. Waka, how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Unfortunately, we are just wrapping up here. Can't do a repeat because I've been on for almost an hour. But it's been good to see everybody. Let me just check the chat one more time. Turok 1. Well, it might be. I don't know. A long box. Yeah, that's the shipping is too much with a long box, but otherwise I could do that. Daz the Key Chaser. No, it's not Daz the Key Chaser. It's Key Comic Market Watch. Key Comic Market Watch. He's the guy who had that Countdown 50 with the Joker cover. Yeah, Key Comic Market Watch. It should be fun. Yeah, it really should. So I don't see you guys writing down any particular comics you want. So I'm just going to mix and match these, fill up 2 boxes, and then they're out of here on Monday. You guys should get them by Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll see how it goes. All right. Waka, I know you just did a live thing, so I'll probably go watch that in a few minutes. And when I go back in the comic book room, put everything away. Everybody else, have a good weekend. Game of Thrones tomorrow night. Getting excited. Chelsea game in the morning if you're going to get up early like me and go watch at the pub. I got the Chelsea game. I got dim sum. I got climbing at the gym for the 3rd day in a row. I go every other day, but I've actually gone weeks with missing the gym. So this will be 3 every other days in a row. Pretty excited. And then Game of Thrones tomorrow night. Somewhere in there, I will fit schoolwork, and then the weekend will be over. You guys all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.